Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who we are. 12 tribes of Israel, scattered among all nations, but here, bringing forth this truth, mostly in this wicked America, it's going out. It ain't going out void. We are in the time of the Feast of Tabernacles. I want to go over scriptures pertaining to this for all those that are able to listen and hear with attentive ears. So I'm going to start off with Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So, Most High told us in go to Deuteronomy the 16th chapter. He told us 3 times in the year we're supposed to come together and in a way that you're supposed to come together in the law. And so let's look at Deuteronomy the 16th chapter. Let's look at the 13th verse. It says, "Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days." So this feast is 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered in thy corn and wine, right? It says, "And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast." Supposed to be a time of rejoicing. "Thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Most High thy power, in the place which the Most High shall choose. Because the Most High thy power, which is your power, shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice." You see? To be happy because he's telling you what he's going to do. What he's going to do for us. Increase. Not decrease, but bless us and increase us. This is what it says in verse 16. 3 times in a year. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Most High thy power in the place which he shall choose. These are the 3 times. In the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the next day after the Passover. And in the Feast of Weeks, which is like the Pentecost. You see it in Acts the 2nd chapter. For you that don't know, I know y'all know the New Testament, so that's the Feast of Weeks, the Pentecost in Acts the 2nd chapter, or in gathering it's called. And in the Feast of Tabernacles, what we are observing right now. "And they shall not appear before the Most High empty." You hear that? So that means you're supposed to have something to give during the times of Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of Weeks, and Feast of Tabernacles. Right? "Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Most High thy power, which he have given thee." Remember, he said, this not, a lot of times, this is not the first time a lot of brothers and sisters are coming to Feast of Tabernacles or being able to observe the Feast of Tabernacles. So he let you know, if he increased you in any way, shape, or form, you should not come empty, because that's why he say he's going to bless you and increase you. So with your increase, you're supposed to be thinking about, whoa, every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Most High thy power, which he have given thee. You see? Simple as that. Real simple. So let's go to Leviticus 23rd. He said you're not supposed to come empty, meaning you're supposed to give something, have something to give, and you prepare for these 3, it's only 3 holy days that he's saying you're supposed to come and observe this to the Most High. So let's go to Leviticus 23rd chapter, and we're going to start at verse 33. It said, "And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel," who we are, saying, "the 15th day of this 7th month." See, we're in the 15th day of the 7th month. Going from when we start at the new moon. 15 days later. Look outside. It should be a full moon tonight. The 15th day of this 7th month, because that's half of the month, half of our month. shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Most High, right? So he's going to let you know how it's set up. Now, on the first day shall be an holy convocation. So the first day is a holy convocation, just like a Sabbath. You shall do no servile work therein. So you're supposed to be able to look at all these days that we have, feast days, and if you have to work, get these days off. Take these days off. Because he's saying you shall do no servile work there. And we're rehearsing, so why not get these days off so you can actually observe what the law says? Say 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation. See, so the first day and the last day of all the days that we have feast on, the first day and the last day are always holy convocation or Sabbaths, but the days in between are not Sabbaths. You can, do what you normally do, but they are days that we rejoice in and observing 7 days of rejoicing and having a good time. I look at, and it's crazy because a lot of times, this is days that, you look to be rejoicing and people come with negatives during this time, when it's a time of rejoicing. So you got to cut them off. You got to get away from me with all that. Misery love company, but they're not supposed to have it this time. I showed you last night how when they went out to bring forth street teaching in the streets of Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, it was the first day of the 7th month, which is the feast of the blowing of the trumpets and the new moon or the new month. You see, he said, hey, no, they started crying when they heard the law, but they wanted to hear the law. Israelites wanted to hear the law read to them and given the understanding. And they start crying. He said, no, you don't cry because it's a time of rejoicing. So it's a time that you don't bring all that negative. Look, how he going to bless you if you negative against what he say do? He's telling you rejoice. 7 days of rejoicing. Can you do it? Sometimes you got to get away from people that's negative. They got this and that just going on. You're supposed to be a time of rejoicing. Suck it up. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. That's what we did then. Now we don't offer any sacrifices. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you. You see? The first day and the 8th day going to be holy convocation, just like regular Sabbaths. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. You're supposed to go into your jobs on these days. These are the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, holy gatherings, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. You hear that? Everything upon the Most High's day. You see? Jump down to, let's keep on reading. Beside the Sabbaths of the Most High, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings which ye give unto the Most High. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, which is the beginning of the Feast of Tabernacles, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Most High 7 days. Telling you again. The Most High speak once, yea, twice, man, but see, they're not. So he say, he got to tell us again. Ye shall keep a feast unto the Most High 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees. That's what we did. Branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Most High your power 7 days. You hear that? And ye shall rejoice, have a good time, feeling good before the Most High 7 days. If you want him to fulfill what he said in blessing us, That's why he's supposed to bring an offering, because he going to bless you for doing what he say do. It said, and you set aside something for these 3 days that he said we're supposed to come together. 3 feasts. It says, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Most High 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, And on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. You understand that? So you got the first day, then you got second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. You got the 8th day. It's going to be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Most High your power 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Most High 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths 7 days. So we dwell in tents. Booths are like, like teepees. Booths or tents. 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Most High your power. Remember, we had our booths, our little tents we was in, and you had the angel of the Most High that's in the chariot over us, in a cloud by day, in a fire return, the fire at night, bring forth light. And when it moved, we had to pack up our tents and move with it. It's moving. We had to pack up our tents and move. 40 years he did us like that. He made us live in booths in the woods. We didn't have no building that we lived in. We lived in booths, like he said. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Most High. And they all in Leviticus 23rd chapter. Feast of the Most High, So from there, let's look at Exodus. Let's go to Deuteronomy 31, the 31st chapter. We're just going to go through where it's written concerning them. Leviticus 31 and verse... let's start at verse 9. And Moses wrote this law and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, who are the priests, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Most High, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, everything supposed to be released in 7 years, in the feast of tabernacles, when all Israel is come to appear before the Most High, thy power, your power, in the place which he shall choose, shalt thou read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they may learn, and fear the Most High, your power. I'll read to you again. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they may learn and fear the Most High, your power. You see? And that they may fear the Most High, our power. That's important. Because that's not being said enough, not having been taught enough, that the people should fear the Most High, our power, and observe to do all the words of this law. And that their children, which have not known anything, may hear and learn to fear the Most High. Read you again, because this isn't being brought out and emphasized enough. Brothers saying repent and keep the commandments of the Most High, but the first thing is what he's saying here. And that their children, which have not known anything, may hear and learn to what? To fear the Most High. Be afraid, be scared of the Most High. And give him the ultimate respect. Your power. As long as you live in the land, whether you go over Jordan to possess it. That's why, look, maybe I need to keep going over it. Keep going back to it. Every time you hear it, go back to the scripture in Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Israel don't hear too well. But he said that they may hear, because we ain't heard, because we always broke the laws of the Most High. But let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. What is the first thing he say? fear the Most High and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. You see? The first thing he said, what? Did he say repent and keep the commandments? No, he said fear the Most High. And for those that don't know, repent and keep the commandments of the Most High. But he said fear the Most High and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. The judgment is coming. That's the judgment right there. But the conclusion of the whole matter is, first he said, fear the Most High. He said, fear the Most High. That's very important. And I think that need to be emphasized more, because a lot of y'all are caught up in just being an Israelite and the results of what it is that you're going to get in your own mind. Ain't no Most High will in it, because you already put yourself in the kingdom. But the fear of the Most High is not taught enough. Look at Deuteronomy 6 and 2. Let's start at 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Most High, your power, Israelites, commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Most High, thy power, your power. Here it is again. To keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. So, it's very important. You know, let's get another one. Deuteronomy 10 and 20. You know, I know I have done a million lessons on fearing the Most High. Look what it says, Deuteronomy 10 and 20. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power. Him shalt thou serve, and to him shalt thou cleave and swear by his name. That's what the Mashiach used against the devil. He went to the law every single time against the devil when he tempted him. But if you don't believe in the law, how you gonna be able to go here to tell the devil just what he got to do? If you don't even know the law, you ain't even going over the law. You're not reading it. You don't know what the law says. So how you gonna rebuke the devil? Just by you saying, I rebuke you, devil? That's your way of rebuking him? Mashiach didn't do that. He went to the law. That's why the law is so important. He can't deal with the law. He had to leave him alone. So, let's continue. Look at 2 Chronicles. Because I said we're going to go through these scriptures and pertain it to how we were dealing with this. King Solomon, 2 Chronicles, the 8th chapter, let's look at verse 12 and read down. It says, Then Solomon offered burnt offerings unto the Most High on the altar of the Most High, which he had built before the porch. You see? Even after a certain rate, every day offering according to the commandment of Moses on the Sabbaths and on the new moons, first day of the month, our month. Not has nothing to do with the first day of Esau's month. It's the first day that we celebrate our new moons is the first day of the month. And on the solemn feasts, like we celebrating solemn feast today, Feast of Tabernacles. 3 times in a year, even in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, as we went over in Deuteronomy 16th chapter, and in the Feast of Weeks, and in the Feast of Tabernacles. See, it's right there. And he appointed according to the order of David, his father, the courses of the priests to their service, and the Levites to their charges, and to praise and minister before the priests, as the duty of every day required. Remember, there's 7 days. First day is a Sabbath, and the 8th day is a Sabbath. The porters also, by their courses at every gate, for so had David, the man of the Most High, commanded. You see? And they departed not from the commandment of the king unto the priests and Levites concerning any matter or concerning the treasurers. So, we're going to look at Ezra. he kept the feast. Ezra, the 3rd chapter. Salakia. Ezra, the 3rd chapter. Let's look at start at verse 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man in Jerusalem, all together. The 7th month, right? That's what we're in, the 7th month, the 15th day. Then stood up Jeshua, the son of Zodadak, and his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and builded the altar of the Most High of Israel to offer burnt offerings thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of the Most High. And they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries. And they offered burnt offerings thereon unto the Most High, even burnt offerings morning and evening. This is what they did. They kept also the Feast of Tabernacles, see, as it is written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required. You see? So, you see they were offering this sacrifice on the Feast of Tabernacles. Then you notice what we done. Hosea. Go to the book of Hosea, the 12th chapter. It should be enough that you get an idea of how we was rolling, how we did things. Hosea 12 and 9. And I, that am the Most High, thy power from the land of Egypt, will yet make thee to dwell in tabernacles, as in the days of the solemn feast. We're going to dwell in booths, as he said, as in the day of the solemn feast, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. That's what we did. Look at Exodus 34th chapter. And verse 22. Now let's go up to verse 21. Exodus 34 and 21. 6 days thou shalt work, but on the 7th day thou shalt rest. In earing time and in harvest thou shalt rest, right? No matter if it's time to gather the crops for the harvest, he say on that 7th day we're supposed to rest. And thou shalt observe the Feast of Weeks, of the fruits of wheat harvest, right? And the feast of ingathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all your male children appear before the Most High your power, the power of Israel. He said, for I will cast out the nations before thee, and enlarge thy borders. Neither shall any man desire thy land. When thou shalt go up to appear before the Most High, thy power, thrice, that's 3 times in the year. You say he keeps saying the same thing over and over again? That thrice is 3 times of the year that he said. When are they? The Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, which they call Pentecost in Acts the 2nd chapter, and the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay? So, we're going to look at Zechariah. Go to Zechariah. We're going to go to Zechariah, the 14th chapter. Look at verse 16. And it shall come to pass. Let's go on to the kingdom. In the kingdom, and it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations, that's a remnant of the nations that's going to be left, which came against Jerusalem, shall even go up from year to year to worship the king. We in the kingdom here. The power of hosts, power of armies, power of angels, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Hear that? All nations going to come up to worship the Most High, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, right? This is what it says. And it shall be that whosoever would not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the king, the power of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain, meaning no blessings. Ain't no blessings coming to them. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Most High will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. You think it's not important? That's why we're rehearsing right now. In doing what he said do, to the best of our ability. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up and that don't come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Most High. And the pots in the Most High's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yeah, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Most High of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and see therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Most High, power of hosts. Ain't gonna be no more Canaanites. Ain't gonna be no Canaanite in the house of the Most High, power of hosts. Period. He eliminated them right there. They're eliminated. Straight up. But let me show you something. Just like we just read about, I meant to go there when we was dealing with Solomon being on his porch. And look at Hamashiach Yahushua in St. John 10:22. Listen, it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of the Dedication, right? That's what they call Hanukkah. You know, Feast of Dedication, Feast of Lights, that we went over pertaining in the Greek Empire and the Maccabees, Judas Maccabees and his brothers and his army defeated the Edomites and all the other nations that was joined with them and brought forth our temple back to us. It says, Salaki. It says, and it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of the Dedication, and it was winter. So this happens during the wintertime. And Hamashiach Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. And speaking of this is what they're trying to rebuild. The Jewish people are trying to rebuild again the third temple, trying to rebuild Solomon's porch, Solomon's temple that we just read about, that he was in when he, made the altar and sacrificed to the Most High. They trying to do that again. But it's going to be of no avail because the Most High, he ain't dealing with that. It's not dealing with that. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Go to First Ezra. Go to First Ezra, the 5th chapter. See, we're dealing all throughout the word. That's not it. Look at First Ezra, the 5th chapter, and let's start at verse 49. To offer burnt sacrifices upon it, the altar that they built, according as it is expressly commanded in the book of Moses, the man of the Most High. So, going back to the law of how the Most High expressly commanded Moses to tell us how we build the altar, this is what they did. And there were gathered unto them out of the other nations of the land, and they erected the altar upon his own place, because all the nations of the land were at enmity with them. All the nations of these other lands were at war with us as the Israelites and oppressed them. They oppressed us. And they offered sacrifices according to the time, and burnt offerings to the Most High, both morning and evening. Also they held the Feast of Tabernacles, as we see we're in now. Also they held the Feast of Tabernacles, as it is commanded in the law, and offered sacrifices daily, and was right. And after that, the continual oblations and the sacrifice of the Sabbaths and of the new moons and of all holy feasts, see? And all they that had made any vow to the Most High began to offer sacrifices to the Most High from the first day of the 7th month, although the temple of the Most High was not yet built. So a lot of you say you can't do it because the temple ain't built. They offered sacrifices with praying to the Most High from the first day, even though the temple was not built yet. You see, they gave unto the masons, those are the bricklayers and carpenters, those that work with wood, money. You see, gave them money, meat and drink with cheerfulness. Glad to do this. Go to the Maccabees. Go to the Greek Empire. First Maccabees. Let's go into the 10th chapter. Look at verse 1. In the 160th year, Alexander, the son of Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, this wicked Edomite, went up and took Ptolemy, for the people had received him, by means whereof he reigned there, right? Antiochus Epiphanes, his wicked butt, his son Alexander, right? So let's go down to verse 21. Check this out. So in the 7th month of the 160th year, at the feast of the Tabernacles, Jonathan put on the holy robe and gathered together forces and provided much armor. Whereof when Demetrius heard, he was very sorry and said, what have we done that Alexander hath prevented us in making enmity with the Jews to strengthen himself? I also will write up to them words of encouragement and promised them dignities and gifts that I may have their aid. He sent unto them therefore to this effect, King Demetrius, unto the people of the Jews sendeth greetings. Whereas ye have kept covenants with us, contracts and agreement with us, and continue in our friendship, not joining yourselves with our enemies, we have heard hereof and are glad that he didn't join to the enemies come against us. Wherefore now continue ye still to be faithful unto us, and we will well recompense you for the things ye do in our behalf. So we're going to give you some money, and we'll grant you many immunities and give you rewards. And now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Jews from tributes and from the customs of salt and from crown taxes. See, so, but you see, it was where? We are observing what? So in the 7th month of the 160th year at the Feast of the Tabernacles, you see? Like we are observing right now. We observe this. Second Maccabees. Go to Second Maccabees, 1st chapter. One and let's look at let's start at verse 1. The brethren, the Jews that be at Jerusalem and in the land of Judea, wish unto the brethren, the Jews that are throughout Egypt, health and peace. Written to the brothers that's in Egypt, he said, health and peace. The Most High be gracious unto you, and remember his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his faithful servants. So the Most High's covenant or contract or agreement is with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see this all throughout the Bible. And give you all in heart to serve him, a mind to serve him, and to do his will, with a good courage and a willing mind, and open your hearts in his law. Open your hearts, your minds in his law and commandments, and send you peace. And hear your prayers, and be at one with you, and never forsake you in time of trouble. And now we be here praying for you. What time as Demetrius reigned in the 169th year, a score is 20, so that's 60 is 60, and that's 169th year. We the Jews wrote unto you in the extremity of trouble that came upon us in those years, like we just read about. For from the time that Jason and his company revolted from the Holy Land and kingdom, and burned the porch, and shed innocent blood, then we prayed unto the Most High, and were heard. Most High heard our prayer. We offered also sacrifices and fine flour, and lighted the lamps, and set forth the loaves. You know, if you didn't have an animal to sacrifice, the Most High had went all the way down to we could sacrifice flour. Well, verse 9, look. And now see that ye keep the Feast of Tabernacles in the month Caslu. See? Told them to make sure that they keep the Feast of Tabernacles in the month Caslu. One more. 2 Maccabees 10. And let's start at 1 again. We're going to read down to verse 6. It says, now Maccabeus and his company, the Most High guiding them, that's what I asked for, recovered the temple and the city. But the altars which the heathen had built in the open street, and also the chapels, they pulled down. They pulled down everything that the heathen had made in the open street. They pulled them down. And having cleansed the temple, they made another altar. And striking stones, they took fire out of them and offered a sacrifice after 2 years, and set forth incense and lights and showbread. When that was done, they fell flat down and besought the Most High that they might come no more into such troubles. But if they sin any more against him, that he himself would chasten them with mercy, and that they might not be delivered unto the blasphemous and barbarous nation, which is barbarian nations. They had the laws of the Most High. So it's saying, now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple, on the very same day, the 25th day of the 12th month, it's called Castle. 25th day, what you call the day Christmas. Now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple, on the very same day it was cleansed again. The very same day it was cleansed again. Even the 5 and 20th day of the same month, see, 25th day, which is Castle, which will be the Esau's 12th month, the very same day. Isn't that something? That we see the dedication of the temple back. And they kept 8 days with gladness, see? They kept 8 days with gladness. That's what we've been going over. First day is the Sabbath, and the 8th day is the Sabbath. And they kept 8 days with gladness, which was supposed to be a time of joy, rejoicing, as in the Feast of the Tabernacles, see? Remembering that not long afore they had held the Feast of the Tabernacles, when as they wandered in the mountains and dens like beasts. So I don't understand how people can think in their wildest dreams that we can't rehearse in keeping our holy convocations. Most I said they're going to last forever. We heard them say that. But people say you can't keep them unless you're in the land of Israel. But where were they at? I believe it says they wandered in the mountains and dens like beasts. And they still kept the Feast of Tabernacles. Therefore they bare branches and fair bowls and palms also, and sang songs unto him that had given them good success in cleansing this place. See? They ordained also by a common statute, by and decree, that every year those days should be kept of the whole nation of the Jews. See? And this was the end of Antiochus, this wicked Edomite called Epiphanes. Okay. So we're going to look at, go to Isaiah 66 chapter. We're going back to the kingdom, y'all. Isaiah 66 and verse 22 says, Just to let you know. For as the new heavens, and the new earth, which I will make, which the Most High will make, shall remain before me, said the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. Those that make it. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, we're in the kingdom here. From one new moon, first day of the month, to the next first day of the month, which is called the new moon, and from one Sabbath to another, one Sabbath day, the seventh day is the Sabbath day, and every feast day, like I said, if it's more than one day within the feast, the first day and the last day are Sabbaths. You honor them as Sabbaths. And from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Most High. That's in the kingdom. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses, the dead bodies of the men that have transgressed against me. They're going to look upon the dead carcasses of the men that have transgressed, have broken the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High, and transgressed against him by doing this, that you taught you not under, but their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. And they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. We're going to hate that, to see that. But what you going to do about it? Can't do nothing about it. That's why, go back to St. John, the 7th chapter. We're going to see that the Mashiach of Shai observed feast days and so forth. The one you believe in, that you think you believe in, but you're not doing what he did. If you're not doing it. St. John, the 7th chapter. Verse 1, after these things, the Mashiach of Shai walked in Galilee. But he would not walk in Jericho, because the Jews sought to kill him. What time of year was it? Or what time was it that it's talking about here? Now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand. See? His brethren therefore said unto him, depart thence and go into Judea. He's in northern Israel. Galilee is in northern Israel. Say, go into Judea. He didn't want to go into Jerusalem because they sought to kill him. His brethren therefore said unto him, depart hence and go into Judea, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest. But there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world. Right? So show yourself to the world. But he would heal. He wasn't Edomite, point blank, because he would heal people and say, don't tell nobody I did it. Or he wasn't a prideful Israelite, because he would heal people and say, don't tell nobody I did it. Shoot. Brothers love to be exalted. Give me all the exaltation you can get in hell. But hear what they said? They thought. But there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. Seeketh to be known openly. He didn't have to do anything and let everybody know that he did it openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world. For neither did his brethren believe in him. Hear that? Neither did his brethren believe in him. Then the Mashiach said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready. Say, you always ready. He said, my time ain't came, but you could die anytime. Your time is always here. The world cannot hate you, but me it hated, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil. Now, what world was he in? We can go back to, real simple, we in the Roman Empire right here. We can go back to First Maccabees, to the Greek Empire, was most people that go to church that are in these religions, y'all know anything about this because your former forefathers took the Apocrypha out of the Bible, 14 books out of the Bible. This is the Greek Empire. And what happened during the Greek Empire? Let's look at verse 1. I'm going to show you. It say, and it happened, it's First Maccabees, the first chapter, the first verse, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, because the Greeks took down the Persian and Mede Empire under Alexander the Greek. This is what it's talking about. You learn that. They make sure you learn that in history. His story, right? So look at our story. That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. Who? Alexander the Greek, right? So what happened? Remember my Shai saying what? He said, the world cannot hate you, John 7:7, but me it hated. Because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil, right? So what does it say? First Maccabees 1:7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. 20 years old to 32 years old. Then he died. And his servants that ruled, everyone in his stead, they ruled in his stead. He had 4 generals that ruled in his stead. And he divided his kingdoms amongst them. Listen what it says in verse 9. And after his death, Alexander the Greek, the so-called white man, the first emperor of the so-called white man's kingdom, empire, the Greek empire, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. They became kings and with power, wisdom, and authority over everyone. So did their sons after them, many years, right? And what happened? And evils will multiply in the earth. There it is right there. Evils will multiply in the earth. So that's the Greek Empire. So the evils multiply in the earth from the Greek Empire all the way to the Roman Empire. That's why he's saying what he's saying. The world cannot hate you in John 7:7. But me it hated. Why? Because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil. That's why, look, his own people. Verse 1. After these things, St. John 7:1. Myself shall walked in Galilee. For he would not walk in Jewry. He wouldn't go in the land of Judah. Why? Because the Jews sought to kill him. See? That's why he said, verse 7, the world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil. Go ye up into this feast. Now, it's supposed to be a time of what? Think about it. Since all we've heard since we've been going over this, supposed to be a time of what? It's supposed to be a time of what, y'all? Class? This is the Feast of Tabernacles that we're going over. And so far, type in the text in the chat. It's supposed to be a time of what? And look what he's going through. He said, the world cannot hate you, but me it hated. He can't go to the feast because the Jews sought to kill him. Now the Jews' Feast of Tabernacle was at hand. So this is a time of rejoicing, to be happy.